Federal government's decision shifting school resumption to October 13 was greeted with negative reactions from some quarters of the public. Some argue that the date is too far and would distort the academic calendar of primary and secondary schools. And in a bid to address this, Council Wednesday agreed to shift the date of school resumption backward. Minister of Health Onyebuchichukwu and his information counterpart Labaran Maku both noted that the review was necessary due to the gains recorded in the fight against Ebola.
And the Minister of Health informed Council that the expert opinion is that actually schools can resume by any time from the middle of September. But then, in terms of the administrative procedure, the Minister of Education will still have to now re-invite the emergency meeting with all state commissioners for education using this expert information and other factors, including public holidays, to then inform the nation as to the date, the actual date of resumption of schools. So the Minister of Education, whose responsibility is to decide, has promised to call a meeting of commissioners of education for them to review it based on the new information. When they had the former advice, they took that decision for October. Now that new advice has come, they also will review it.
Following the report we received from the Minister of Health and the containment measures and the results of the containment measures that have been taken, the Minister of Health has advised, has in fact given the go-ahead for the Minister of Education to again review its earlier decision on the school calendar, because the Minister of Health has now clearly reported that schools could resume earlier than the Minister of than has been announced. So the Minister of Education will be holding an emergency meeting with all commissioners of education from the 36 states to then look at the report that has been given by the Minister of Health on the improvements in containment measures on Ebola and announce, a review of school resumption date, which will be slightly earlier than had been announced. So the issue is there is success story on containment. Schools can now resume earlier, but the Minister of Education will have to meet, with all commissioners for education in the country to announce a review date for school resumption.
Health Minister also briefed on the nation's current Ebola status. He noted that only 2 persons are in quarantine, while saying that Enugu is now Ebola-free.
Speak to you are 2, one in Lagos and one in Port Harcourt. The one in Lagos is the wife of the Port Harcourt-based doctor who died from Ebola virus disease. And so he, in turn, infected the wife, who is being treated in Lagos. But the sister of that doctor has also come down with Ebola virus disease, and she's the one being treated in Port Harcourt. So 2 Nigerians are currently under treatment for Ebola virus disease, one in Lagos and the other in Port Harcourt. We also got a rumor from Calabar. We've also completed investigation. It is not a case of Ebola virus disease. So that rumor has been debunked. In that case, we found out that it was HIV. But it's been debunked, it's not Ebola virus disease.
He also appealed to Nigerians not to panic over the Ebola disease, saying government is very much on top of the situation. The health minister also cautioned Nigerians, particularly those in the social media, to disease from spreading false information over alleged outbreak of Ebola. Federal government's decision to review the October 13th date for the resumption of schools across the country no doubt will receive commendation from several quarters, as many argued that the extension period is too long. But for teachers and students who have set their mind on that date, and some would likely have traveled within or outside the country, that may just be one thing that they will need to reconsider very quickly. But let's wait and see what Education Minister Ibrahim Shikarau and the Commissioner of Education from the 30 states of the country and the FCT would agree as the new date for resumption. From the Aso Rock Villa, I am Hikaru Atta, ITV News, Abuja.